Greetings lords and ladies, and welcome to the Westeros vibe, where the summer isles are probably the closest thing to paradise on Planetos. Before we start, I would like to remind you that links to every article or video covered this week can be found in the video description below. Also in the description you will find timestamps, so that you can choose which stories you will want to view. We are starting off this news-packed week with Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington and Rose Leslie finally take their relationship public. On the red carpet of the Olivia Awards, no less. Other instances of revealing this relationship are presented in the article, one of which on the Jonathan Ross show. Next up, Game of Thrones aftershow with Bill Simmons set on HBO. This show will be entitled After the Thrones, hosted by Andy Greenwald and Chris Ryan. Its main purpose will be to present to viewers certain aspects of the show, from the complicated politics to history. So if you enjoy the idea of this, then tune in starting with the premiere. Moving on to Game of Thrones Sam Tarly. This is the end for Jon Snow and Sam. As you may remember, at the end of last season, Sam left with Gilly for southern lands to forge his macer chain at the Citadel in Old Town. So that explains the title statement. Questions that Bradley gave answers to were, among others, what does it feel like to be a positive character in a dark world, and about the fact that he is a provider of levity during the show. For the full interview, read the article. Link, as always, below in the description. In other news, Game of Thrones parodies dominated Peter Dinklage's SNL episode. As we have mentioned before on the show, the Lannister dwarf got to run the show for a night on SNL. Memorable moments included the many Game of Thrones puns, his monologue peppered with jokes from George himself, and the spoof of Naked and Afraid. Clips and more examples in the article. It just takes a click to find out. Moving on to Maisie Williams is sure some fans will be unhappy with Season 6 events. Along with the title statement, she also said the following. At the end of the day, these horrible deaths make great storylines. It makes the show what it is. So it would be really selfish if I were to say, oh, I never want Arya to die. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that it will make a great storyline. Next up we have Kit Harington takes a lie detector test, and the Game of Thrones cast on avoiding revealing spoilers. The article contains a few examples of the cast and spoilers malarkey. However, the most entertaining part of it is the video of Kit on the Jonathan Ross show, so click on the link below and enjoy. Careful for potential spoilers in this next story. Liam Cunningham on the carnage of Season 6 and how the show will come to an end soon. The most important quotes from the article are the following. I'm the one screaming WTF, OMFG when I read the scripts. If I can put them down, things aren't going well. But this season there wasn't an episode in the bunch where I went, where is this going? It was full of intrigue, full of newness, and filled with wonderful characters. We have quite a few new people on board this year, and as usual there's carnage with characters going down. There are parts of it that are business as usual, and I mean that in the very best sense. Then there are parts that are stylistically very new. And this year we push the limits even more because we know it's going to come to an end soon. It has to. You can't keep up this level of quality because of the demands and everything. Your personal life, your time, all of that. The show is bigger than the lot of us, the sum of its parts. To do justice to the finish of the story is very important, that we can walk away with our heads held high, that we can do no more, that we did as much as we could. The stylistically new parts are intriguing, although he may just be referring to the greater number of flashbacks. In any case, we shall have to wait and see if Season 6 will live up to the giant hype. Another potentially spoilery story is the following. Isaac Hempstead Wright expect lots of magic from Bran in Game of Thrones Season 6. Our favorite tree boy of the north returns this season, and he has come prepared with new magical skills, which will open doors into the world's history and bring to screen significant scenes which people have been dying to see for a long time. Apart from the actual important quotes which you can read for yourselves, I would like to draw attention to this funny one. They sent Alfie Allen, who plays Theon Greyjoy, a script where I jumped out and stabbed him in the back over and over again. And I got this text from Alfie. "Oh my god, just read the new script. You stabbed me to death. That's amazing!" More on Season 6 in this next article. Maisie Williams on Season 6. People are going to hate it but love it. A few choice quotes are as follow. "Just that they don't know what's going to happen. I know the showrunners don't take criticism personally anymore, and that's nice. People are outraged by last season, but they secretly love it too because they don't know what's really going on. You are either a normal person or a sexist." On the show specifically, it's always been a constant debate because women are treated badly on the show, and they're treated well on the show. But it's the same as the boys and the girls, and the men and the animals. The themes are very dark. I get that people don't want to watch scenes like that. I understand, and you shouldn't have to. I think everybody's allowed to be upset about what they're upset by. Regarding the sexist quote, the actual context is that she considers people normal only if they are feminists. Nice to be divisive there, Maisie. Clearly you have learned what nuance and complexity are by participating in one of the best and most complex shows in history, and are not resorting to just making blanket statements with no intellectual arguments to sustain your point whatsoever. Moving on with an interview from a cast member who hasn't really been featured on this show before. Game of Thrones Julian Glover on playing Pycelle, auditioning for Dumbledore and what he won't do on HBO. We shall limit ourselves to the question regarding Game of Thrones. Firstly, he talks about how he expanded the role that Pycelle had in the books, about the LOLZ scene where he originally was written in as naked, and about his role in Season 5 mainly as a punching bag of Cersei's. Another topic which was briefly touched upon was a potential spoiler theory from the books, known as the Grand Maester Conspiracy. The premise is that the Order of the Maesters' true goal is secretly ruining the realm through message manipulation and the monopoly on magic, to put it simply. For the full art answers, read the full article by following the link below. Moving on to even more Season 6 news. Is it obvious that the premiere is quickly approaching? Ewan Ryan, Ramsay changes in Season 6. The main takeaways from this interview with Entertainment Weekly are that he is a bit sheepishly because without Sansa his hold on the north is tenuous, he's a complete scumbag with no redeeming qualities whatsoever, and that Season 6 is very bleak and has clever writing. For the full answers, follow the link below to the article. Surprise! Something that is not Season 6 related! From Daenerys to Margaery Tyrell, how Game of Thrones characters look in the show versus how they look in the books. From age to physical features, the differences are sometimes large. If you are curious, then follow the link and enjoy the 16 examples. Moving on to more spoilers. Game of Thrones reveals cryptic Season 6 premiere title, details. The title is, suggestively, The Red Woman, and the description is the following. Following the shocking developments at the conclusion of Season 5, including Jon Snow's bloody fate at the hands of Castle Black mutineers, Daenerys' near demise at the fighting pits of Meereen, and Cersei's public humiliation in the streets of King's Landing, survivors from all parts of Westeros and Essos regroup to press forward inexorably towards their uncertain individual fates. Familiar faces will forge new alliances to bolster their strategic chances at survival, while new characters will emerge to challenge the balance of power in the east, west, north, and south. Fallout is sure to exist following the events of last year's finale, and the new characters who will challenge the balance of power sound intriguing. In the east it's the Dothraki probably, the north possibly the Umbers or Karstarks, in the west we have the Ironborn and their Kingsmoot plotline, and in the south we possibly have a High Garden mutiny. Spoilers galore in this next story as well. Game of Thrones new Season 6 clip, Night's Watch Traitors attack. The scene is basically Davos and a few Jon loyalists, along with Ghost, bracing themselves for an attack from the Night Watch Traitors, including Thorin and Ollie. Watch and enjoy, link down below. Moving on to George R. Martin told Liam Cunningham a Game of Thrones secret. On the same show during which the scene which we have discussed was premiered, Liam also confided this in everyone watching. This was a couple of years ago. It was the first time I met him and I was awestruck. He said, "I've got something to tell you," and he leaned in and he told me this secret. He said, "Don't tell anybody," so I'm not. When pressed for an answer, he quipped that HBO would have him sniped on national TV if he would attempt to divulge. Very Howard Beale-esque. More on the season 6 front with this next story too. Sophie turning on Sansa's new season. She is taking charge. Following a few seasons of Sansa playing the constant victim, Sophie gives the following statements. "This is the season I've kind of been waiting for Sansa, and I feel like the fans have been as well. Those people that get frustrated at her for doing nothing, this is the one season where she actually does something. She's taking charge and she is bringing the people that she wants with her and to get what she wants. She becomes a leader in her own right. We shall see how long this power streak will last." In other news, go behind the scenes of season 6 with a video showing off the Spanish filming locations. The video is in the article for all to see, however it is only in Spanish. What we can gather from the images is that the scenes filmed in Spain were the Tower of Joy ones, the Dany Calasar scenes, some marine ones, and Jorah and Darius' search for the Dragon Queen. Something which is not season 6 related next, with George R. Martin to interview Stephen King in Albuquerque. Two great authors talking to each other is always fun to watch, and it will take place at the Kiva Auditorium in Albuquerque, New Mexico on June 16th. If you have the possibility to be there, then I suggest you attend. Moving on to the lands of YouTube, we have more videos to mention this week. History of Westeros have released 2 videos this week. First one, a season 6 preview and trailer discussion, and a live Q&A about the book to show transition for season 6. Radio Westeros have released the second part of their Littlefinger discussion, going over his relationship with Sansa and about his ultimate fate. Red Team Review has released his breakdown for the Davos preview scene we have mentioned. Emergency Awesome has released a few videos this week, his top 10 missing book characters from the show, a discussion about the Spanish teaser, and one about the episode 1 title and description reveal. Preston Jacobs has released another entry into his 1000 World Book Club about A Beast for Norn. Vassals of Kingsgrave have released 2 videos this week, a theory discussion video, and part 15 of their epic reread, covering more chapters from January to 99. That is the news for the week ending on April 10th. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And stay tuned. Goodbye everyone.